Poison in the Colony, Jamestown, 1622. Chapter 15. They are enslaved Africans, stolen from a Portuguese slave ship. They had first stopped at Point Comfort and were sent along to Jamestown. Governor Yeardley buys them in exchange for the food the crew of the White Lion needs for their trip back to England. They now belong to the colony. The Africans are taken out of their chains and sent to the hot tobacco fields to work alongside the London Street children, indentured servants, and other commoners like Samuel and my father. Tobacco is queen. We commoners are her servants, and the gentlemen reap the profits. Samuel says that Jamestown is becoming more and more like England. He says that when Captain John Smith was president, even the gentlemen had to work in the fields if they wanted to eat. But now the gentlemen have servants in their homes to do the women's work and servants in the fields to do the farm work. And they sit puffing on their pipes while their wives gossip with the other gentlewomen. We won't be like that when we get our land, Samuel promises me. We know the value of hard work. Yes, and we can't afford servants, I remind him. A few days after the landing of the White Lion, another ship arrives at Point Comfort carrying more stolen slaves. This ship not only flies the British colors, but it is a ship well known to us, the Treasurer. Captain Argall used the Treasurer to capture Pocahontas and bring her to Jamestown, and he carried her to England aboard it. According to the Powhatans, it is the ship on which Captain Argall gave Pocahontas the deadly poison that took her life. The Treasurer is now involved in more intrigue. Her captain, Daniel Elfrith, sailing under the British colors, did not have permission to plunder Spanish ships. His stolen slaves are contraband, and he can be accused of piracy. The residents of Point Comfort want nothing to do with him, his slaves, or his request for food. He leaves without trading anything or anyone, but not before one of his contrabands jumps ship and runs off into the forest. A few colonists catch a glimpse of her as she runs, and soon everyone is talking about her. Why is she not in chains like the others? What is she so desperate to escape by running off into an unknown forest? Is she a Christian, like the slaves from the White Lion, who have baptismal names like John, Mary, Peter, and Margaret? Will Captain Elfrith come back for his stolen property and risk arrest for piracy? Rumors spread quickly, reaching Jamestown that very same day. Some say she is a very beautiful and was Captain Elfrith's mistress on board the ship. Some say she has scars and must have been mistreated on the ship. Some say it was so blasted hot she must have thought they were back in Africa and she could run home. By the end of the day, everyone has an idea about who she is and what she is thinking, but no one knows where she has gone. That night, I lie awake in the heat. I think about the young woman lost in the forest. Is she afraid? Is she lonely? Has she found water to drink? Does she know which berries and roots are good to eat? How long can she live out there by herself? What will the Indians think of her if they find her? Will they welcome her into their tribe to live, the way they did with Samuel when he was a boy? Each day, search parties go out into the forest to look for her. Each day they come back without her. On Sunday during church, Reverend Buck exhorts the congregation to pray for the young Christian woman lost in the woods. If she starves and dies, he says, her blood will be on our hands. I do exactly as he says. I sit in the cool of the church, and as Reverend Buck continues his sermon, I pray for her, that God will keep her safe until we can find her. I pray that he will somehow let her know that we colonists will not harm her. As I sit quietly, an image comes to me. A creek with boulders alongside it. A break in the boulders that is the entrance to a small cave. It feels a little bit like the knowing, but there is not enough information to tell me anything. And the knowing has been dead in me for a long time now, so I ignore the image and go back to the praying. Reverend Buck's sermon drones in. I get sleepy, but work hard to keep myself awake. I don't want to anger Reverend Buck. My head droops, and as I nap it up, the image comes again. This time, it has the unmistakable ping of the knowing. My heart races. If I focus, will I be able to see where the creek is? Will I be able to find the lost African woman? It is then that I do a very bad thing. Lord, please help me find her, I pray. I am asking God for more knowing rather than to keep the knowing from me. Immediately, the image in my mind sharpens. I see that the creek runs into the river where a large oak has been hit by lightning and is cracked and charred down its middle. I suck in my breath. Samuel, in the pew next to me, nudges me and questions me with his eyes. I scowl at him. The punishment for talking during church is very painful. I bow my head again. It is there, clear as the living day. The creek, the oak, the boulders, the cave. I can find the young woman. I am sure of it. I am also sure, to my horror, that I have opened the door to the knowing again, and it is with me, stronger than ever. My heart pounds in my ears. I can save the young African woman's life, but my life is now in danger.